Hello, chemistry students. Today's lesson, we are going to finish up our discussion on light, specifically the nature of light. So let's turn to lesson 7, the nature of light, in your study guides, and we'll get started here. All right, throughout the last few lessons, we have looked at both the wave nature of light as well as the particle nature of light, with Einstein explaining the photoelectric effect and bringing into the fact that light seems to have a characteristic of particles to it. It leads us to a kind of a question of what really is light? What is the real nature of it? This certainly was a perplexing question for Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein showing clearly that light had a particle nature to itself, but he certainly could not ignore the fact that light also seemed to exhibit a wave nature to it. And so to kind of like put this together, he realized that light really exists as both a wave and as a particle at the same time. Now, this is really bizarre to us to think of light as being essentially pure energy, but at the same time, it's also matter or particles. Okay? Um, this doesn't set easily with us as scientists. It's hard for our minds to wrap around the idea that light is both a wave and a particle at the same time. Now, we call this the wave-particle nature of light, or the duality of light. The duality meaning that it behaves as a particle and a wave at the same time. So the way that Albert Einstein looked at this, and the way that we still continue to look at this, is that it would appear that essentially because light exhibits quantum behavior, it can exist as both a particle and a wave at the same time, only because it exhibits quantum behavior. Okay, what does that really mean then? So it means that it's not until we actually observe light that it forces light into one state or the other. In other words, the state at which we see light at is going to depend on the experiment being done. So for instance, you can kind of think if we left light alone and we don't even make an observation and even see it, light is going to exist as a wave and a particle at the same time. Both states are going to occur. But as soon as we start experimenting, as soon as we start making an observation that's going to force light into being one state or the other. So sometimes, depending on our experiment, light is going to behave like a wave, and we observe that wave nature behavior. And other times, like in the photoelectric effect, light is going to behave like a particle. It's just merely about how we observe and how we measure light will determine what state light is going to represent itself in. But in reality, light exists in both states at the same time, okay? And it just becomes a difference in our observations, which will pick one state or the other, okay? And that is our current understanding of the wave and particle nature of light, okay? So this is a pretty short video, but that's all we're gonna have for this lesson, okay? So we'll see you next time then.